Oop decides to maliciously comply by not drinking water at work. I am not the original poster. That is you, Frost Dragon 57. Mood spoiler. Oop is fine. Seems to have learned not to do it again and things change for the better. Less than. Original post here. On June 28, 2023. Now before I start, here's a bit of context for this situation. I work in the boat industry as an engine tech and parts painter. I know. Quite a broad range right there. Anyway, the company I work for is quite old and the building I work in is even older. The heating system is trash and we really lack anything in the way of air conditioning. And it's boiling outside right now. Earlier today, I had started overheating really quickly as the temperature rose in the building. I have a medical condition where my body can't regulate temperature well, meaning I am at risk of passing out. I was going to go get a bottle of water from the fridge to help me cool down, when I was stopped by one of the company's managers. Let's call him Kyle for this story. Kyle, where are you going? Me, I was only going to go get some water. Kyle, you're supposed to be working right now. You can get the water during the coffee break. Me, I don't think you understand that I can actually be in danger from this heat right now. So, could I please go get one bottle of water? Kyle, no, you're not authorized to leave your work before the clock strikes. Now shut up and get back to work. Me, Roger that. Keep in mind that this conversation was held in front of my coworkers. Cue malicious compliance. I got back to work, making sure to put on some extra coal, just to make sure I made up for lost time. Basically, I was forcing my body into shock and heat stroke was just around the corner. Fast forward around 30 minutes. I had to tell my coworkers through my strained breath that I don't feel too good. Which was actually even worse now, as I was working on deck of one of these boats, give or take 3 meters above the floor. When I made my way towards the ladder to climb down, I only got out a very strained, "Oh shit," as I fell off the back, and was headed straight for the concrete floor below me. Lucky for me, some coworkers reacted fast enough and managed to catch me before my head was split open on the floor. I woke up in an ambulance around an hour later. The EMTs were checking my vitals and were actually helping me. My boss came up to the door and asked me what happened. I told him exactly as I told you guys. And I also told him to check with my coworkers if he didn't believe me. Long story boring. I was brought to the hospital for a checkup just to make sure I actually didn't suffer any kind of trauma from the fall. A buddy of mine came with me to make sure I got there and back safe. A few hours passed, and my buddy got a call. He picked it up, and it was Kyle. My buddy handed me the phone, and I heard Kyle on the other end apologizing for actually almost getting me killed. The short version is that he was heavily reprimanded for what he told me and was put on watch. Didn't lose his position though, so I guess I didn't fully win. But he was liable for the medical compensation for my situation. I did forgive him, and just to rub it in a bit, I just had to ask him, "Am I authorized to get water next time?" And my buddy just laughed. Edit. I already got OSHA on the line and they're launching an investigation into this. So, if nothing else, I just made Kyle's week even more horrible. Also, for those who wondered, Kyle is pretty new and is basically a bit of a brick? Can I call him that? Whatever. He's rough around the edges and generally doesn't believe people when it comes to their personal health. He's got that kind of, if you can talk, then you can work, mentality. So, in a way, he kinda deserved this. OSHA will have a field day with his actions. Edit 2. Fix the Q spelling error. Man, I'm dumb. Update. 2 days later. First of all, hello again. I'm the idiot that almost died to prove a point. Before I continue, To all of you who were concerned about my safety and health, thank you. I never realized how many would care. I'd also like to apologize for literally putting my own life in danger to prove a point. It was stupid. My family, the nurses, my girlfriend, and many of you made me realize just how stupid I was. And I will be more careful in the future. I am now out of the hospital after being completely stabilized, and I don't have any major trauma from this ordeal. So don't worry. Anyway, for those of you not in the loop, check my profile for the previous post for those of you who already know. Let's get into this. A lot of things happened so far. My aunt, the main nurse assigned to me, and the nurses I knew personally all cussed me out for what I did and told me to make sure I better get health and safety to invade my job for this. My aunt put me in contact with a representative, and I had a lengthy chat with said representative. This got the ball rolling for investigations to start. What I didn't expect was that even police had to get involved. I was released from the hospital after a day and was told that I could work, but I was entitled to 10-minute breaks every hour if the temperature rose above 25 degrees Celsius indoors, which basically is every hour of the day. Anyway, I clocked in today and was immediately approached by a man and woman in high-vis and hard hats. The woman introduced herself as the representative I had spoken to on the phone, and she basically asked me to backtrack and explain in detail what happened. I did, and she wrote everything down and let me be on my way. After reminding me to abuse my medical papers as much as I felt like. Dunno why. She just said that and walked away. Didn't hear much more after that. The entire company was called into a large meeting about personal safety, and it was quickly established that I was the cause of said safety meeting. Whoops. Anyway, we were informed that Kyle, the dillweed manager, had been demoted to a normal worker, and that we would be entitled to 5-minute breaks every hour due to the heat. Nice. He also said that due to the heat, the company would be purchasing drink coolers, fans, and would be compensating any worker that had to go home due to illness prompted by the heat. This part, though, shocked me. Frost is not allowed in any engine bay until winter due to temperatures in there being close to a sauna. We don't need him to almost die twice to understand his condition is severe. Basically, anywhere the heat rises above 30 degrees Celsius, I am not allowed in for my own safety. That's as far as this situation has come. Once again, to those who were worried about me, thank you. And I'm sorry for making you worry about someone like me. Thank you for your time.
Talk about a Pyrrhic victory.
People like Kyle who like to power trip are the worst, and he got what he deserved. Oop is a total idiot though. Yes, he survived, but he could have also survived with serious end organ damage like kidney failure or brain damage. It's quite a nasty lifetime sentence to suffer just to prove a point. Texas just passed a law taking away water breaks in the heat. I wonder what the medical condition is, because I also tend to have issue regulating temperatures. I feel cold much more than others, but also the heat, and even fainted twice. I always assumed it was linked to my low blood pressure. I suspect that a lot of people who do not have much experience with sustained high temps on a regular basis underestimate the dangers of heat exhaustion and dehydration. It's bad enough to underestimate these risks during a summer outing in a park, but in an industrial setting it's way more dangerous. Seems that Oop was fortunate, and both he and his company are taking appropriate measures in the future. I remember reading both parts of this on malicious compliance when they were posted. Somewhat reckless, but Oop definitely got his point across. I like his attitude, tbh. I'll spite you even if I die doing it. Quote, also, fuck Kyle. It's satisfying that he got demoted for being such a petty asshole. Jobsworth. Love that his surname is Frost. Ironic, or witty, both work for me. This is Kyle's villain origin story. He's going to become a Republican politician and try to defund OSHA LMAO. Even though the company is probably making these changes to cover their asses rather than concern over workers' health. At least they're doing something. There was an incident at a Caterpillar plant near me a few years back when a worker fell into a vat of molten iron and was incinerated. His death was completely preventable because Caterpillar ignored regulations where there should have been guardrails up. And there are still severe safety concerns after his death because Caterpillar isn't addressing them. The lack of concern is disgusting. Even though I didn't know the gentleman, I think of this incident occasionally because it was so unnecessary and sad. I am kinda surprised that Kyle did not get fired. OSHA takes the heat thing really seriously, and since there was an injury with hospitalization, there will be all kinds of inspections and possibly fines. Appa's lucky he did not move to another plane of existence in his protest moment. Very bad idea. Aside from the immediate danger, I've always been told that suffering heat stroke makes you more prone to it in the future. Never put your health on risk for work. He learned the lesson the hard way. Worker health and safety laws are written in blood. I don't know where OOP lives that they're able to get OSHA to respond like that. I've worked in manufacturing for over 35 years and I've yet to ever lay eyes on anyone from there. Most places I have worked at have had OSHA called on them more than once. I worked at one place for a few years. We were in a recession. That was so hot. No air at all except big fans and open dock doors. People fell out all the time. One particularly hot week sent 8 people to the ER. You'd think that a place that was using multiple resources, fire department and ambulance, multiple times a week would be concerning to the powers that be. Evidently not, because they are still going strong. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I am saying that it doesn't happen where I'm from. Well, that was something. Good thing Kyle got demoted. Kyle sounds insufferable. I work in manufacturing in the South. We have water coolers out on the shop floor. A free Gatorade machine in the middle of the shop area. And when the temp goes above a certain level, one of the admin ladies gets sent out to the shop with boxes of Gatorade, Pedialyte type. Freezer pops a few times a day to help keep everyone cool and hydrated. This post boggles my mind. No one wants people to get heat stroke. No one wants OSHA or its state equivalent to show up. No one wants lost time accidents and the increased insurance premiums that go with them. And no one wants to lose the customers with safety programs who will refuse to do business with you after a certain threshold. Glad to see that management further up the food chain recognized what an idiot they had running around as a supervisor. Dysautonomia is no joke, that's for sure. Some days I feel like we need a "did it happen?" poll on every post. For this one I'd check the "maybe" box. OSHA and Celsius in the same post. OOP was really nuts. Did he think he was going to win there? He could have killed himself.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.